Hello, and welcome back to the number one survival guide of the cylinder. And today, we shall venture deep into the western plains. As you looked out into the plains, taking in the sounds and smells, you saw the faintest of signs of movement in the tall grass off in the distance. It was the humble egg runner. Egg runners are the smallest known species of giants that are primarily scavenging omnivores that have a particular sweet tooth for eggs. They are also very social and live in large communities that are typically built in the low-hanging foliage of small trees and large bushes. You continued walking up a hill until eventually you came face to face with an old dust oak tree. You took a moment to consult your map when you suddenly heard deep guttural throat noises coming from behind the tree. Your heart stopped as you turned your head up to see the massive figure of this dragon bird. Dragon birds are astonishingly large browsers that mostly eat leaves off of trees and various types of bushes, as well as sunflower seeds during the spring. They also have two large claws in each hand that they can use to defend themselves and clear out large areas of foliage when nesting. You continued walking for quite some time, when eventually you came across a large sandstone structure built into the hill. And if that wasn't breathtaking enough, just above it, there was a massive creature with one horn. It was the massive and majestic Whitman unicorn. The Whitman unicorn is one of the largest megafaunal herbivores on the plain, and primarily eats grass, small bushes, and occasionally lichen growing on rocks. Something that all unicorns share in common, however, is that they all have insane amounts of healing magic coursing through their veins at all times, which makes them immune to almost all physical attacks as well as diseases, and also gives them an average lifespan of about 700 years. And because of that, it is unknown exactly why they still possess that large frontal horn. Eventually, the sun began to set, and you knew you would likely need to make camp sometime soon. But before you did, you noticed a group of large, round creatures roaming the grasslands on the outside of the gorge. They were shieldback armadillos. Shieldback armadillos are a very large, strictly grazing animal that evolved from the once small prairie armadillo that would use its shovel-like claws to dig tunnels for themselves. However, their now enormous descendants have evolved those claws into large shields they can use to protect themselves from predators. And their backs have also hardened into large, firm shells that protect themselves from aerial attacks, as well as two large spikes on either side of their head. While you were setting up your tent, you suddenly began hearing the sounds of distant cries from a pack of black-maned hyenas. In fact, they were likely just now getting active, as they really only ever hunt at night. Black-maned hyenas are an extremely large and aggressive species of hyena that have a particular liking for large game, and have an incredible sense of smell and hearing, allowing them to track down prey from miles away. This was likely a sign that you should go at least a little bit faster on making your camp. Looming over your very flimsy tent was a massive Redwing slateback dragon. Redwing slatebacks are massive, deadly dragons that use bioluminescent chromatophores on their wings that allows them to hypnotize prey beneath them, putting them in a paralyzed state where they are unable to move. Redwings are also very territorial and often have minor land skirmishes with the others of their kind, which can sometimes take place right above or inside of human villages. Redwings also have very sought-after hides, as they have tons of almost solid metal sheets over their back that can deflect multiple shots from a shotgun with only minor damage. Although attempts haven't been entirely successful yet, there are those who have attempted to tame these beasts, and if they are successful at some point, these creatures would be great tools for tracking down dangerous criminals and outlaws, as they have incredible senses of smell. But, unfortunately, you never saw that day. And now that brings us to the end of this chapter of the Survival Guide.